And we should be live. Let me check. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah. I think I did some small stuff off camera, not very much. Not very much. Let's go ahead and load back in. Back. No, we're lagging a little bit. Maybe I can close out of some of this stuff here. I have some other stuff open on my computer. I'll just close out of that. So that way it will not get in the way. Get out of all of that very quickly. Okay, and I think that should be good on that front. Okay. I think we are ready to get started here. Okay, so here's my stream agenda. First step. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pause that. Is to mine with the quarry. So I have a quarry over here. You can see it's kind of cool to look at from above. Basically, the idea is it's exactly one chunk large, and we can basically just go down like this. All right. Yeah, okay, that's right. I have a haste 2 beacon, which makes it a little bit faster to do, but... So we're gonna go ahead and work on that part first. So since I'm sitting at a solid frames per second, let's try turning on my shaders. Let's see what happens if I do. I want to see how we're doing. 94 frames per second, so that's still pretty good. Although it's less, the frames are a little bit less stable. What if I... Is there a way for me to... Is that in general? FPS max. Let's go with 80. That way it's not like switching between different stuff too much, you know? There we go. Turn that on. So it's not nighttime yet. But, oh, because of the shadows, because it's evening, so there's not going to be much light that goes this deep into it like a whole light does. Ah, so that's the shader thing. We'll see when it's nighttime on the little thing on the HUD up there in the top left. Right. No, damn it. There we go. Keep on mining on through. So, it's Sunday, and I've been, trying to get an old room cleaned out that's sort of been, like, kind of a junk room for years. Like, it's sort of just been allowed to pile up junk, and it's, like, a pretty big room, too. So, you know, there's so many years of old stuff going through. You know, seeing, like, old, like old math homework from when I was in like 3rd grade and stuff. It's pretty interesting to go through all that stuff as I'm working on cleaning it out. But it's gonna be nice once it is all cleaned out. It'll be quite the challenge. You know, it's sort of just been like I said, a junk room. Sort of just throw all our stuff in there. But yeah, we're gonna. But the other thing that's a little bit annoying about it is that, you know, there's so much dust, like, that gets sort of flung up into the air. So I do have a slight headache as a result of that, but not enough to stop me from streaming. Just a little small annoyance, you know? But yeah. So, for the moment, just going through, and I'm just going to work on this for a little bit. Oh, it is nighttime now. Let's go ahead and sleep. Oh, it's not quite nighttime. There we go. Now it is. So satisfying to insta-mine stone. We'll put that there for now, and we're gonna have to put it up at the end. I'm just gonna go ahead and mine my pickaxe down a little bit. That's how I'm gonna tell when I'm done, is when my pickaxe is low, because I don't feel like recharging my pickaxe multiple times for this, but I just wanted to get a little bit of work done on it before we get to the main task of today, which is gonna be I'm gonna be trying to see if I can design a super smelter. And by that I mean just something that I can use as like a furnace that's quick. I've seen designs before, but I've never made one myself, and I'm not going to look anything up, so I'm going to be going off memory and trying to figure it out for myself. Like, I remember that there were mine carts involved, and like hopper mine carts involved in order to evenly distribute the items. Oh, this is one too far. There we are. Maybe it's better to do things this way instead of trying to do it all in little 2x2 columns. I think this is a lot faster, actually. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is quite a lot faster, actually. Turns out. Shut up. Okay. I think I do want to do at least a little 2x2 tunnel, so that way I know what the edges are already. And then afterwards I can go ham. Like this. So this will stay pretty dark up all the way till noon, I think. Very briefly, when it'll stop being cast in shadow, but the vast majority of the time it will be. Which I never actually thought about. I guess that would be true in real life. That wasn't even something I realized was like not realistic about Minecraft. I didn't even think of it. Like that's not how shadows work at all. You have a really deep hole going straight down. Oh, well, actually, no, that does make sense. Like, if you think about, like, a hole, it gets super dark, super quick, even though it's exposed to sunlight. Unless you're shining a light down directly into it. Once I think it through, it makes perfect sense. Sorry about that. As I said from earlier, with the cleaning, quite a lot of dust, so I think my nose is just a little bit sensitive from that. I'm just gonna pick up this stuff and then I'm gonna head out. I think this will be a good place to stop up on doing the quarrying for right now. Let's go ahead and put away the stone in its like proper place though. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, I really like that. I think that'll look pretty cool. I'm planning on digging that down all the way to bedrock if I can. I don't know whether that'll make it all the way to bedrock, but we'll see. If not, I can do it, I can modify it to make it better. Like, I could make it so that way instead of, like, standing still for half of it, I could just make it go all the way down. Like, just, like, on a continuous kind of spiral. But, we'll see. Alrighty, in any event, I think it is about time to go ahead and get started with that. So let's go ahead and turn off our shaders, because there's, I probably don't want to deal with it while I'm working on it. Okay, let's go ahead and get into place. Here we are. Okay, let's head over to the space that I made for it. I pre-prepared. And let's figure out how to make a super smelter. Okay. Obviously we're going to need furnaces. We're going to need power rail, I guess. Oh, hold on.
Smoothies already.
Ooh, smoothies. I might take a second and grab smoothies. Apparently my brother made some smoothies, so I'm gonna go see if I can pick them up from him. Alright, I'll be right back. Well, we're back. Hold on. Got a smoothie now. Yum. Good stuff. Okay. Redstone torches. Poppers? Or, I don't know about the redstone torches. I'm probably going to need that, but I think the first thing is redstone and those. Okay. So I just want to remember, how do hoppers work with this? I think this goes into the top slot, this goes in the bottom slot, and then this is to eject from the furnace. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it works. So like, let's say we have coal, iron. So I think coal goes into here, iron goes into here. And then this will grab items out the bottom. The question is, do we actually want to do the automatic ejection, or do we want to leave it so that way we can get the XP? Maybe we could turn that on as like a toggle or something. But I'd like at least the capability to auto-collect it. I'd like for that to be like possible. Man, the smoothie's good. Okay. Okay, so I think what I could have is I could have like a track running below, right? I think probably 24 furnaces should be good. So let's say we get 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have 8 furnaces on this side. Wait, actually, hold on. From one block, how many can we... How many can we access at once? Although, to be fair, the other issue with the big furnace array is that if we don't have, like, a... If we don't have a, Hold on. Just give, I'm thinking for a second. If we don't have a good, brain fart. So if we have our furnaces like this, if we have too many furnaces, then we're going to need a fuel source which is not taking a bunch of items, because otherwise we would need, what? How many? We would need 8 in each of these, so that would be, what? 8 times 8, that's 64. So that would be, what, 3 stacks if we wanted it to be efficient? If we were using coal, for instance. The other thing is I could use blaze rods to fuel the furnaces. Which I can farm up the blaze rods pretty easy. Yeah. I think that might actually make sense then. Let's do that. Okay. So we'll keep that in mind, that we're going to have blaze rods, but we also don't care too much about fuel efficiency. But also, that being said, if we're just having like a little tiny thing that we're cooking, we're probably not going to use the super smelter. Okay, so let's go ahead and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can just have a chest minecart, or well, no, we could have a hopper minecart running under here. And that should be able to... Wait, let's say we have... Okay, hold on, let's do this. I'm actually not sure what happens if we put a hopper minecart under. I think that the hopper minecart should be able to take it in the same way a normal hopper would. Right? Because a hopper minecart's just the same thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that does work. Good. In that case, we can just have a hopper minecart here. And then we can also have a hopper minecart here. Like on top. Maybe. Yeah, let's try something like that. Now for the back part, we would need that does not work. So I think we need hoppers here, because otherwise, yeah, because otherwise they're on the same level. I don't think we can do that. So I think we do need hoppers. At least that's the conclusion I'm coming to here. Maybe we don't, but I think we do. Okay, and then here we would go through. Although I don't know how would we power the rails here without also powering the hoppers. Oh god. Okay, we would need something like we would need an extra block here at least. Which we would want that anyways, to be fair. Oh shoot, I forgot. Yeah, you kinda need to keep that. So we could do something similar here. Boom. 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 Oh wait. No! Okay. There. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, we're good. Okay, working with rails in this close proximity is actually a lot more frustrating than I thought it would be. Okay, now is there an issue here where this tries to connect? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Okay, I think what makes the most sense, I'm just thinking of this from a user perspective. If I'm trying to put a bunch of items in, I'd want the chests to, the chests would have to be above. Like they'd be here or something. Now here, I could do a torch without it powering anything else. I guess I could do something similar here with this torch. So we'd have to basically be doing torches like that, like that. Okay, that's not good because of the fact that this is connected. So actually we should probably change this a little bit. This should extend a couple of blocks first before it does that. Because it needs to at least do this part first. Something like that. That way, if I have this, this doesn't affect here, right? Okay, so let's say we have one stack of oak, or actually 3 stacks, since that's supposed to be, we should get 8 in all of these. So let's go ahead and try to run this, and then we'll see what happens. Perfect. So let's see, how many did we get? 8. Oh. Got 8, 8. Perfect. Okay, so that does work as a system, I think. So now we can do something that's basically the same type of deal here. Like that. Uh-huh. And this is for fuel. We should be careful to try to keep the fuel lines separated. I don't know whether I should... actually, I think let's keep it like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do something like this again, like this again. We have something like this. And then we'd also have that and like that. Okay. Okay, and it'll keep going like that for... I'm trying to reason through this. When would I know how to when it's supposed to stop? Like, when should it stop collecting, basically, is my question. Right? Because let's say I'm above here, right? And there's a floor in between me and this. How would I even know? Well, that's probably done. Let's check it out. I don't think I would. Now, I could just have it repeatedly spit up all the stuff. Like up a bubble column or something. Yeah. But the problem there is that then we'd be using even more hoppers. My idea was I wanted to see if there was a way that I could move my minecart hopper around here, and then once it finishes picking stuff up, then it could just pause here and then all sort of unpack. But thinking about it, I don't see if there's a good way to do that actually. So I think what I might end up having to do is just is to just put hoppers under these blocks. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So let's do it. That's just going to make this project even more expensive in terms of hoppers, so we're going to have to get quite a lot of iron. Be a lot of mining, because I don't have an iron farm, and I don't really want to have an iron farm that much. I kind of like mining for iron myself, but maybe I won't so much after I finish this. Maybe I'll change my mind and be like, actually... Wait, hold on. I forgot to rearrange. Move the... Wow, I cannot speak. I forgot to change the directionality of these hoppers. No, I did not mean to do that. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, next, let's grab ourselves a dropper. We're gonna want a... Oh, some of those fell on these, which fell. Okay, I get it. And then we want a timer. Wait, that's not possible, is it? I think it is possible. So let's say we have a dropper, or not a dropper, observer. Because you can make an observer timer with like a piston, like a toggle timer. I think this would be one side. And then we could just have a piston. Like this, because then, so we do this. Exactly like that. So we can sort of toggle the timer like that. And that way we would only need that one side. And we could then, we would want some glass. This would start dispensing it upwards. Okay, I think my next goal is, let's say we want one for each of these. So let's say we feed it 24 coal. Or no, 48 sticks. Let's do 48 sticks, because that should be exactly enough to cook this number of things. Oh, well, actually, it depends on whether or not it'll finish with the first stick before it gets back around. Let's actually test that. I'm not sure what the answer will be. Whoa, why does that go in so fast? Oh yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so let's do it with blaze rods, which is what I'm going to be using. So not here. Oh wait, where? Oh, oops. That's another reason. Oopsies. Let's try it with the sticks again. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, so not fast enough still. So sticks are not a good enough fuel source for it. But, like I said, that's not really the fuel source I was planning on using, so this should be enough for it. Let's see. Not bad. Like that? Okay. And then I don't even think that we need anything more than just on one side. We would just need it on one side again. And we'd probably want it to be on this side, yeah, because this side is already clogged up with all this crap from over here. So let's just have it on this side. So we just have, so one block like this, into this, into this, into this, like that. Except for this one, we don't really need it to be we don't need to have we would just need a, we wouldn't need any chest or anything above here. We just need the redstone signal. That's really all we care about for this one. Right? I think is what makes the most sense. And then we have this, which should send a bubble stream upwards. Okay. So this is just like the extremely basic configuration. Now that we have that, I want to go ahead and redo this. Or not redo it, but let's go ahead and clear away the excess blocks. And we're going to start to maybe try to color code some blocks and do some other things that will make it make more sense, so that way I can work on wiring the thing efficiently. Okay. Because I do not, because from what I can tell from this, I don't think that it's a good idea to stay here in this zone. I think it's better to just have it spit up the items. I think that could be really cool. That like you have like a bubble column that goes up to your surface, and then you can just like stand right next to it and pick it up. Or it could go into like a chest or something. I don't know. But either way, we can go ahead and get rid of, clear out some of these extra blocks like I said. Let's go ahead and do that. And then once I finish this, I'm going to design what it should look like from above if I want to do something like that. Or I can try to see if instead of building an exterior, if this is going to be underground, I could just find a nice spot for it in my world. I don't know. But I could also see, that could be a cool thing of like having like some kind of like forge or smeltery building, but not in that little area, but over farther away in that city zone. Like, let me show you the area I'm talking about. Let me actually move my well, I mean, it is a webcam, but my camera that I have. Hold on. Let me actually move my camera to the left side, because as it is right now, you guys can't see the map, like the mini map. And I think that you guys being able to see the number of frames per second that I'm running at is a little bit less important than being able to see the mini map. But either way, I'm going to be going full screen map here. But I have like a little zone here, and I spawned in over there. So we can, let's head over there just temporarily. And I have a path that I'm working on that sort of takes us here. And these buildings aren't filled in yet, and I think I want to change the style of them. I don't think I want them to be out of stone and dark oak. They'll be out of something else, and I might even change some other things about it. But I think one of these buildings here could be maybe a smeltery. But then again, I don't know if like you generally have like houses next to like an industrial area, or like that would be its own separate zone, like an industrial zone. Maybe I could make it so that this is like the residential, and then we could have like an industrial area like over here or something. Ooh, I actually really like the sound of that. Like having an industrial thing right here, and you could see like a giant sort of, I don't know, like a mill or like a reactor or some kind of thing. I don't know what sort of tech era I'm going for here. Like if I want it to look, you know, industrial era, or if I want this to look, I don't know, pre-industrial society. I don't know, it's a smeltery, so it feels like it probably should be industrial, but I mean, they had like, oh shoot, hold on. I just realized that there's a beehive there. I've been looking for beehives so I can fill in my my bee nests, I should say, not hives. I think they're called bee nests, not beehives. I think the beehives are the man-made ones. Yeah. Or, well, it's called that in French anyways. Nid d'abeille. Nid d'abeille. we're gonna go ahead and wait till it's nighttime before we do that. I do not remember leaving this stuff here, but yeah, this sort of area was supposed to be like a little some part of the city, and we could also have houses here, like around this hill. And I was thinking maybe I could make some kind of cool tower, like a watchtower or something, like there. And this could be sort of like either a small city or like a or a large village type of deal. And then I think I have further south from here, over in this area, I want to create a kingdom eventually. I want to create like a giant castle or something. I think would be ideal. But I kind of want this sort of area to be much more rural, and then that area to be sort of in between, and then the castle to be like super, like we'll have like the giant walls, and then you'll have the whole city walls, and then inside of it you'll have the castle keep inside. That's something that people often get wrong. They talk about like the castle, but often what they're talking about is the keep. So, whereas the castle is like this giant ass area with like fortified walls like around the edge. Oh wait, hold on. The whole reason I waited till it was nighttime and I didn't do anything was so I could grab that bee's nest where all the bees would have run back in there. But let's not get killed by a creeper. There we go. Yoinked that up. Boop. Perfect. So we want this to be a full 2x2x2. And right now, just a 2x2x1. So we have quite a few, but still a ways to go. What are my sounds at? I don't know, my sound's good. Sounds are good, sounds are good. Sorry, let me make sure this is nice and close so you can hear me well. I did notice that I went back over my last live stream. I'm trying to improve stuff, so if you guys notice anything out of place or anything be that, hey, I think that your game audio is too loud or too quiet, or, it's really bothering me that I'm not in 60 frames a second, I really prefer that, or any of that kind of stuff. If any of that is something you'd like, just let me know, because I'm sort of keeping it as is, because yeah, I can only really work on what I notice myself and what kind of feedback I get. So, yeah. Anyways, in any event, I was still in the middle of working on that. I just wanted to show you that, like, what sort of idea I have. But let me finish designing this thing, because I have most of the design. I just need to wire like these different levers up in a way that you sort of get the user interface. That's something, I mean, it's redstone, it's a little bit different than like coding, but in a lot of ways it's kind of like coding. There's certain things that are very similar to like programming logic. So for anybody who does, anyone else who does any kind of programming, I'm a math person, so I'm a math major, so I sort of do it on the side. It's not like my main gig or anything, but I mean, I know how to code. I know how to code well enough, and for me, like, my first thought is like, you think of sort of the inputs and the outputs, and then when you're building it in Minecraft, it's kind of like, I don't know, building like the buttons on your circuit, or your or like the user interface on a program. So let's say okay, so we see that we have this and this. What if we had could I have something like this? Let's say we wanted And we're going to make this out of dark glass. Or we'll temporarily make it out of lime glass to basically say this is, so that way we can see through it, but that way we know what it is that this is supposed to be. Actually, no, we should use dark glass because otherwise it's not a solid, or tinted? Yeah, tinted glass. Otherwise, sorry, dark glass is modded. That was the old thing before tinted glass existed. Bro, what was that in? Extra utilities, I think, had it. Actually, there was a few mods that had it, but basically before, for those who do not know, in old versions of Minecraft, tinted glass did not exist. It was added. What version of Minecraft was it added in? Let me see. Tinted glass. Let's see. Transparent partial. Tinted glass behaves like an opaque block, blocking light completely despite being visually transparent. However, it isn't a solid block as with regular black, so mobs do not suffocate in it. Okay, that's odd. Okay, so something that in case you don't know, the reason why I'm stressing about this is I want to make sure that it'll behave that it'll behave the same way. So in case you don't know, let's say I have redstone here and a block and then redstone on this side, and I do this, or well, no. That's probably not a good example. But this would be a good example, right? I think if I do this, so you notice that this block will power this, right? So if I turn on this lever, this will turn off that, right? Whereas here, if I power this block, because it's a transparent block, it won't do that. And so there are other blocks that are considered transparent. So the same thing will happen if I used leaves. Oh my gosh. Oh. I don't think you can place them. You can't even place torchstone leaves, but it does act as that. But let's say we have glowstone. Glowstone is also transparent block, so it has the same type of deal. So are slabs. They count as transparent. There's like a bunch of types of blocks that do, but obviously with slabs you can't place a redstone torch on the side of slabs. So, but my question is, what about tinted glass? Does tinted glass act as a solid block? No, it acts as a transparent block to redstone. It looks like you can't. Okay, so in that case, I actually do not want to use any kind of glass. I want to be using a solid block. Sorry if that's loud. I may need to change the mixing so that way it's not as loud for you guys. I'm sorry if it is loud. Yeah. But anyways, I think like this. So let's go ahead and make it, or let's use stone. Stone. I need to stop fussing about which specific block it is. Point is, let's go ahead and have this. Like that. Like that. And then give me a stick. Then we can go ahead and use world edit here. Which is one of the mods that I have installed here. So here we go. So we have stone here, so we're going to imagine this is the surface level, right? And let's go ahead and grab ourselves barrel. Let's say we have a barrel here, and then let's grab some more hoppers. We don't have enough yet, so let's grab more. So we could have something like this. Now, so actually, hold on. No. Because this would means that we have several ticks that we'd have to wait longer for this to get in here. So we'd be very worried. I don't want that. I do not want a huge delay. Okay, one thing that I can do is, instead of doing it this way, I could get rid of both of these hoppers, because truly I don't need a hopper because of the fact that I'm using a hopper minecart. So it will, like, let's say I put this in here, then that will get picked up by this. Now that does mean that this will happen at half the speed, but it also means that I will have a visual indicator immediately telling me, hey, this is empty, that means it's in the minecart hopper. This is not this is empty, that means that everything's in the minecart hopper. Whereas if I don't have that, then let's say I had like the buffer, then me seeing that this was empty is not the same as me knowing that that was full. I want that to be the case. Now the problem with that comes about that now we really can't I really can't have this really just doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, let's not do it that way then. I do want the hoppers, at least. Maybe ignore this. Maybe we just have it like this. What if instead... Okay, let me just think about it completely abstractly, like just ignoring what's below. What would be like my ideal setup? Is I would have this, I'd have one chest that would be, or one barrel that would be for item inputs, like the top item, one for fuel inputs, and then I would have an output chest. And then I would have 3 levers above each of these that turn on and off each of these functions. That's my idea. Okay, so in that case, what if for this we did this? Okay, let's say I have some glass here. Wait, I just thought about it. If I already have these in hoppers, then what's the point of not just having the hoppers just suck directly out of these and then spit up? I didn't even think of that. yeah, the whole... okay, I actually do change my mind about this part, the bottom part. The whole point of having... the whole point of that, the whole point of using a hopper minecart at the bottom, because we don't need everything to be evenly distributed or whatever. The whole point of having a hopper minecart at the bottom is just, is to save hoppers. So the question is there a way to do that? And the answer is there probably is, but can I, the second question is, can I figure out what that way is? So what if, this might be weird, but so what if, I guess it depends on how big this, okay, let's say I have a track switcher, right? Do I go... is it turned this way? I'll need to replace some of these with powered rails. A bunch of these with powered rails. But the question is, do I go this way or this way? Let's say this way. And then from here we have a so, but by default, it would probably just bounce into this and then go back and then go back and then go this, and so it'll bounce until I tell it to stop, and then it'll switch this track and then it'll go up and it will, so we don't even need a dropper or any of that. And once we decide that, then it'll end up all the way up here. So do something like this. Okay, and then now let's go ahead and go through here and see what we can do. Dang it. Okay, this part should just be as fast as possible. There's no reason not to make it fast. And then, yeah, we can basically just switch all this with powered rail. Now, technically, we don't need to do it that way. Wait, hold on. I think we're supposed to go one extra, right? Yeah. Was my decision. Okay, and then after that, for this, since we don't really care about, we can just use redstone blocks, since we don't actually care about other redstone wiring going on down here. Not for some of this stuff, so like this we don't care about. We can just do that. Because that's just more convenient. If I can get away with using redstone blocks to power these things, I always do. Even though it's it's more expensive with the redstone. I find it better than having to expand the number of blocks to put levers and other non-solid blocks. It just, bleh. I don't like dealing with all that. Now for this area, we will probably want to use levers here. Now I think this one would be like that. Yep, like that. Now, so we will have this, this, this. Because of 3 other levers, maybe, that we have, like, on this side. What about something like that? And then on here we'd have lever, lever, lever. Okay. So since this lever goes to the top part, this lever will do what? Okay, so let's ignore this part then. Get rid of this. How long have I been streaming for? I just want to see. Only an hour. Okay. Just checking. Alright, now, I think my goal is to go like this. Okay, this one should be wired here. Now, doing downwards redstone is kind of annoying, because of the fact that, like, you can do, like, upwards elevators with transparent blocks like this, but the problem is that it goes upwards. Like, if I have this, then it will go up, but it does not go the other way. It's one direction. It's unidirectional. So if I do this, boop, nothing. So that means that if I want to go down, then I have to basically do some kind of twirl here. But the idea is I want, this is the wire. So let's go ahead and use, let's use red for this. Okay. I think we want like that. I think this should work, fortunately. I don't think that should be any kind of complication at all, really. I don't know. Actually, hold on. Let me check that. I'm not sure. If I do this, does that power that? It does. It doesn't power that. So we're good about not powering stuff we're not meaning to. Okay, good. Okay, next we have orange, which is this one. And we'll just go through and we'll do it with all 3. And then yellow. Alright. So for orange, this should go here is the output. Huh. How do we get here easily at all? Okay, and we also need to know, where is our yellow? Our yellow is here. Yeah, our yellow is here. And it's reversed for some reason. Okay, and is there a reason why this needs to extend in this direction? Because if it extends in this direction, that would make that a lot easier. Let's see. I don't think there is a good reason why it has to extend in that direction. I think I just assumed it would be simpler that way. But I think it'll actually be simpler this way. So let's do this. And we have that. Perfect. Okay. So then now, we'll need this. Okay. And I think for this one, we have this. We could attack it at this angle as well, although not easily. Could we? Let's see. Let's say we want this block. So let's say we have this block here. We have this block here. And then we get a block here to block this. And then we have this block here. I don't think that crosses. Does not. But, okay, let's see. Actually, I don't see a good way to do that. Unless we go back under. Maybe we actually go back under. Like this. Something like that. That's so ugly. Maybe do this instead of that. Oh, no, but this runs into that. If I do this, it's not actually extending the footprint any. Okay. Okay, screw this part. Okay, so we have this. And we could actually, I wonder... We could go around this way. Okay, let's just try to wire it, like, so that way it works. And then I can go about trying to wire it more efficiently, once I've wired it so that it works. So I think that's more important, is to figure out whether or not this works. Because otherwise I'm trying to figure out the efficiency of something that doesn't even actually function, you know? Trying to make it more efficient. It's what I was talking about last stream, about premature optimization. If I spend all my time trying to optimize the wire stuff when I haven't even shown that this works at all. Okay, so we can see that this actually is within 15 blocks. And does that work? Yep, so that should work. Okay, for this one, this goes only so far. Okay, not quite. And even if it does, I don't know how this will work like this. Hold on. Let's see what I have here. Okay, let's do this a little. Let's try rewiring this just slightly. Okay, instead of doing like this thing where I'm like snaking up by one block at a time, what if I don't snake up at all? I just go up here, and then I try to go up. No, we're back behind by a block. We're behind by one block, we need to be up. Because the problem is that we need the triple. The problem is that, okay, this is the problem, is that I don't think you can do, like do something like this, because this cannot be a diagonal and also a vertical, right? So what you end up needing is either this, I think that's the best way. So actually, maybe I can do this. So we have it go like this. Like I said, actually, hold on. What am I doing? I'm trying to be extremely efficient. I just said I didn't need to do that. What if I do this? Like that. No, that's not good enough. No, that's not good enough. Basically, the problem is that I need this. The fact that the redstone is going in this direction means this block is not going to get powered by it. Which I need that block to be powered. So I either need a way that I can power this block from this direction, which would involve something like this, right? But then the problem becomes now this can't go up, right? So then maybe we just do the same thing here, but we extend it out by one block. That's no longer necessary. So now we should be able to do this. So we have this. Okay, and then now we can just do this stuff. Okay. So now, for this, we can do this, like that, and we can do this. Except the problem is that we're going to need 2 ticks here. But, I mean, that's not really a problem. You can just do that. So now this will turn on. Now this seems to also be turned on. I just want to make sure wires aren't crossing. That means this does turn off to this if it's on. Let's say it's off. Then we do this, does not turn that on. And it also, does it turn on the yellow line at all? So if I do red, does nothing to yellow. Okay. Orange, does nothing to yellow. Does nothing to that. And then yellow, does nothing to either of these. But does it change this? Yeah, okay. Except, that's not the only thing this needs to do. This needs to also power this, I just realized. Now, fortunately, I think I can split this off just fine. Hold on. Okay, we'd want to power this from a slab, a transparent block, so that way it doesn't affect the hopper. Wait, hold on. Let's say we have this redstone. Does this power this? let's say we have this. It does. Does this power this block? No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Now, if we had this block be like this, and let's say we put this, then it does block it. Okay, good. Good to know. Okay, so we're gonna need one slab. Like that. Yeah, okay, so we need one slab. Or, well, no, I think we're gonna need 2 slabs. We're gonna also want one here, because we want to split off at this point yeah. We don't care that it goes from 2 directions, actually. I was gonna say, whoa, what about the fact it goes from here? But that's actually fine. We don't care. Ooh, now that we don't like at all. Now if I have this, the problem is this is not a half slab. I could do this, like that, and we should be good. Do something like that. But, so let's see if that actually works. That does turn that on. Does not turn either of those on. Turn that off. It turns that off. And this is not affected. This still does. Okay, so that still works. Uh-huh. Okay. I think this works now. Whew. Okay, so the only part that's missing now is, let's just put in the, hoppers. Okay, so let's do a quick example where we have let's go ahead and let's say we have let's get tons of blaze rods. Now for that, I think I would need probably an automatic blaze farm or something else. It couldn't be sticks, but it would need to be. I could do a bamboo farm. I don't know what other things people use as fuel. Kelp, I think, is the other one. Because you can feed it into itself, basically. Because you can craft the dried kelp into dried kelp blocks, and you can use the dried kelp blocks as fuel to make more dried kelp. So as long as you have bone meal, then you're able to basically infinitely produce the dried kelp blocks, which you can use as fuel. Okay, but for the moment, let's just say we want this, right? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and say, hey, we want around a stack of these blaze rods. Load it on up. So let's wait, hold on. Did I remember to put these? I did. Okay. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and fuel it up. I don't know how long that'll take before that's empty. Regardless, that should be good. Now, what I want to do is, let's say I want to get myself 3 stacks of charcoal. So let's go ahead and start loading that up. And we're going to have to wait for that to all load up first. Now there's probably a better way to design this so that way it's it's way faster than this. Like I could imagine like the best type of smelter, you could set it up so that way as soon as you put the items in here, then they would be loaded into hoppers, which would be loaded into the hopper minecarts or something, who knows. Like as it's going back and forth, you know. Oh, it's supposed to be. Okay, so I think for this one we're done, which means we should be good here. Okay, I feel pretty confident. Let's go ahead and turn this on, and then this on for that reason at the same time. Let's check to see how much we got so far. Oh. Did I mess something up? This guy was here. Oh, did I forget to put a minecart hopper? Oopsies. Let's go into that. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can check in. Because I want to do this from the perspective of myself, because I'm not going to have access to be able to see what's going on. Because I could go into spectator mode and check that way, but I want to be able to see whether I can, how much I can do. Uh-oh. Oh. Yikes. Okay. Does this matter? Does this need to be like this? Oh. Okay. I don't think so. I think that's fine. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, nothing. Because it got trapped. Okay, there we go. So let's have it going back and forth now. Let's see. Look at that. Oh, because this is already all done. Now this would be, we're gonna have to do a repeat experiment and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna clear this of all of the extras that we have here. What? Where are we getting this extra charcoal? Oh, actually, I know why. It's because of from before. It smelted up some of the other stuff that I had. Okay. Okay, in that case, we can go ahead and turn these off. Perfect. And now all of that is reset. Let's go ahead and take all this and let's delete it. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Why is there still more? Oh, because I was still dealing with... Okay, so that wasn't actually finished. But there was still a backlog from before because of the... Well, let's go ahead and start it over and we'll give it that, because I thought that we were done for that reason. But we're not. Okay, there was some block that... There was one piece of wood that got there. I don't know whether that was from before, like if I broke something that caused it to do that. So I'm just going to test to see if that, whatever that clog was, happens again. If it does, then there's a bug I need to fix in my design. If not, if we're good, then hell yeah. Alright, I think we've cleared all of this stuff out. We should be ready to give that a do-over. So let's say instead, oh no. Oh no. Jeez. So we take this, boop. So we have 24 of these now. Okay. And then let's say we want to do a stack of oak wood. So then we just have to wait for that to feed in. Okay, these two are done. Okay. Really, we only need to do that once. Because it's 24, so that should only really go around once. And then now we should be able to turn this on. And this on. Now, I want to know if there's any hacks, like any extra like tips or tricks that I could employ that would allow this to go by any of this stuff to go by quicker. Like one instant thought I had is for loading. If I had this, oh, well that's kind of an issue, isn't it? Because I think it does, no, that would be an issue because of that. Wait, no, because I think this always takes priority. Hold on, let me see. Sorry, I'm being kind of ambiguous. Let's say that I have an item here and I put items in. One goes here and one goes here. Is it random? No, so that's only if it's one item at a time. If there's two items, then... So for each one item, it'll go boop, 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 and it's fine. But if there's two items, then one will go here, and then before there's a chance for another tick for this to go here, the other hopper will pick it up. So, so that's actually still not okay. So then I shouldn't do this. Okay. Because I was thinking, I did know that you could do two hoppers like this, and then you could do a double chest instead. And the idea is basically you can you can get items into this hopper twice as fast as just normal hopper speed. But oh. Turn that off then. Alright, so I think that's the design part of this done. For the most part. Like I said, I could optimize this more. Okay, one thing is, I think if I do that there, then I think this should still not block anything. So we should still be good on that front. But it'll lower, or it'll decrease the footprint. The overall footprint, which I care about. So we have that. Okay, so this is the thing, is we have three sides at which we can look at this block. So one possibility I could look at to see if it's possible is to snake under this. Especially if I replace this block with that. And then we had like that. Because that will not power the downwards like this, I don't think. Yeah, that doesn't power that, so that's safe. something like that. Seems to me like that's a lot better. So let's say if I do this, does that make it all the way? Oh, it does, which means I don't even have to do this part. Okay, that's actually really nice. So that means I can go get rid of this whole thing, this giant cluster block. So if I have this, that powers that, which powers this, which powers this, and does not power this because of the fact that this is, because we're all working. So we're working well here, and this should not power any other dangerous blocks or anything. Yeah. By dangerous, I mean any other blocks that power any, like, hoppers or anything else like that that I don't want powered. Okay, so that definitely lowers the footprint. Or shrinks it, I should say. Okay. I just want to see what this would look like. I'm not going to definitely go for it. I could be okay with this, but I could make this one block if I made it go around this way. Wait, but that doesn't make sense. Because we have this in a U shape like this. Really, the only other place we could do it is having going off to the side this way, or this way, or we could also have it going this way. But then I actually don't see a good way to do that, so I actually don't think it's worth trying to figure out anything like that. I think maybe that would be possible to do in a different way, but not worth it, I don't think. I think as a whole, this should be good. Now, let's see the damage. How many hoppers, how expensive would this be? Because my guess is quite expensive. Okay, so then position 1. Oh, we do need that still, just for some reason. Okay. Oh, I guess because it powers this block. It doesn't power that block. Okay, never mind. Okay, and I think that should encompass everything here. Perfect. Let's see. And I would want to make sure it does. Let me go ahead and delete these extra random blocks here. I think I just added that block. Do I need it going that low, though? I think I do, yeah. Yep, because of the yellow block there. Okay. So overall, we have, let's analyze the area. Or no, don't delete. Aw, shit. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we can see what we got. So this would be 94 rail, or power rails. 55 hoppers, jeez, okay. It's almost half a stack of blocks. Not fun. Or that might be half a stack of blocks even. I'm not sure. Somewhere around that point. Honestly, other than 55 hoppers, I think I'm satisfied with this design. I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect. I think I could do a better job if I just copied somebody else's like super smelter design, but that wasn't really the point of this. When I'm making these redstone builds, I'm trying to improve my own redstone abilities. So for that reason, I'm not really following tutorials, even if those tutorials are better than mine. And that's for redstone stuff specifically. There's some stuff I don't really mind just following somebody else's tutorial for. Like, I don't really care about making good mob farms. Like, that's not really a skill that I care about building up myself. So I just copied somebody else's design for my creeper farm. I was just like, yeah, I don't really feel like messing with that. But with something like this, I did want to mess with it myself. So I did. And I'm pretty happy with it, with the result. So we'll see. In any event, let's see, what did I end up? Did I end up following along with my agenda for today? Did do everything except for making an allium farm. So let's do that actually. So I have a location. Okay, first let's sleep. Let's go ahead and take care of that very quickly. Or even if I don't make a farm, let's just collect a stack of... Let's change that, actually. There we go. Okay, so for that, I just need... Let's get myself a stack of bone blocks from over here. And then, other than that, we can just go ahead and head over there right now. Because we have... Let's enable that. Yep, so that'll be south, so we're gonna go ahead and take the, the ice road that I made. South, over there. So let's do it. So south is this way. I don't remember whether this was supposed to be it. Or if that takes me... Oh wait, no. I think this takes me to... Oh, actually, I don't remember. Let's see. Okay, no. Never mind. This takes me to my blaze spawner. It takes me to another fortress that I set up a little blaze spawner thing at. I think it's the next one. Should be up here. Yep, here it is. Oh man. Well, I'll have to do that later. Not right now. I do not feel like doing that right this second. Although, actually, no, I can do it right now. It'll only take like a second. Let's do it. I think 16 should be enough. Like, probably not actually. Let's see. We'll try it. Not quite. One, two, three, four. Perfect. And then just need to fill that in. There we go. All the way. Yep. Perfect. And then boom. Let's go over here. This is where it is. I wish there was like a way I could just look at a block with like F3 and it says, oh, here we go. Lush ground, replaceable, big drip leaf, moss placeable, azalea grows on, convertible to mud. Okay, I don't see that. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. So let's just go here. Let me just put this in. Let's just go through this. Because alliums are quite a rare flower. You can basically only find them in meadows or flower forests, and only in specific flower forests or meadows. They have to be, the flower forests either have to be big enough, or the meadows, you just have to get lucky that it's on the right gradient. Because the flowers don't, like, for a meadow biome, it chooses 3 flowers randomly, like out of the possible flowers, and then it'll make patterns with them. So you basically, you have to hope you get lucky with that. And then for a flower forest, it'll spawn all of the possible ones if you have a flower forest big enough, but practically you don't. And so you end up having to find a flower forest that is either really big, which are extremely difficult to find, or super far away, or you end up having to find a small one and get lucky that it happens to have alliums at it. So allium is, unfortunately, a really difficult flower to actually find normally. Let's see, I'm up to 43. I saw it looks like I should be able to do this. That's fine. Okay, there we go. We have a stack of alliums, and we should be good on that front. Gets this way back. You can see over here I have set up like a redstone thing that goes back and forth that you can use to farm up stuff, but did not use that this time. Because I think there's like some of the roses I can do that with, so basically I should go back through there and make one for alliums and make one for some of the other things, but I haven't, so I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that sometime. Not right now. Because right now, we're approaching the end of the stream. I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting some of this stuff away, and then we're probably going to head off after that. Next stream, I think I might just start implementing that furnace thing I made, or start collecting the materials for it at the very least. Need to do that. Put that back. Some of these things. Need that. Put away that ice. Flower box. Boop. And now I have this extra stuff, which is magenta, so we can go ahead and put it with the other magenta stuff I have. But now we have a full stack of that, which is nice. Light gray wool. We'll put in there for now. I think we have... Where do we have wool? I thought I did have wool here somewhere. I guess not. No, I think I just put it back up here. Okay, I'll need to find a place for wool later. Or I'll probably make like a whole wool box or something. I don't know. A whole wool shulker box for it. We'll see. But first, let me go ahead and sleep here, and then I'm gonna grind up the go ahead and mine this stuff. No, wrong box. Dang it. This is what I meant to open, so I can grab my fortune pick. Perfect. Just gonna open up. Nope, did not do that. Okay. That's good, that's good. Alright, in that case, I think we are done with the stream then. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll probably see you guys next time, probably tomorrow. I don't see any reason why no stream tomorrow, but who knows. And I'm probably going to be sticking to the afternoons, for US time. Afternoons in the US time, so wherever you are in the world, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like if you did. And like I said earlier, feel free to leave feedback. Actually, don't just feel free, but don't just feel free, but I'd actually specifically really appreciate it if you did. because I'm trying to improve, and obviously I still have a lot to learn about this kind of stuff, so yeah, just let me know. Anything in-game, out-of-game, related to the stream or not, let me know. Alright, um, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.